She's Mrs. Claudette Bekha Charles.
Yes.
Welcome to you, Claudette.
Thank you very much.
How are you this evening?
I'm fantastic. Muy bien, muy bien, muy bien.
Ah, she's dropping the Creole. Very good, very good. Most she's very bold, you know. She's stepping forward. Imagine all the guests coming in, and when I tell them they have to drop some Creole, they go, oh! And she just dropped it like it's hot. Well done, well done. So all is good?
Yes.
Okay, so imagine, people, you might be wondering what my guest is going to be talking about this evening. She's going to be sharing with us, and she's got goodies. Miss Charles is the author of a series of books, and she has 2 so far with us in studio this evening. She is born in St. Lucia. She was born in St. Lucia, and at the age of 10, traveled to the US with her family. And she's traveled around the world. She's a certified educator, and she loves teaching children. She loves sharing her experiences, and she's a proud St. Lucian sister. So, you're here tonight to share with us what you've produced, your books. So, we have 2 different copies here. And Wyetta.
Yes.
Who is Wyetta?
Wyetta is myself.
Yes.
As you mentioned, I left St. Lucia at the age of 10, but it always remained in my heart.
Yeah.
And being in St. Lucia and valuing my culture and the country that I came from, I really thought it was important to document that and chronicle that in some way, and that's what inspired me to write the book. So Wyetta is my 8-year-old self when I lived in St. Lucia, and all of the wonderful experiences that I had growing up, being in Castries, which is where I was born and raised, and then during the summertime and then the Christmas breaks, I would actually go to my father's people in Dennery.
Ah,
yes.
So you had, was it Dennery Rural Dennery or Dennery Village?
Dennery Riviere.
Dennery Riviere, okay,
yes.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And being there was where I spent a lot of my summers and my Christmas breaks.
Yeah.
And a lot of my stories seem to just surround those experiences.
Okay, so you had a good balance between the city and the rural St. Lucia. Okay, so but what motivated you, apart from your experiences and you want to share, what deep down else motivated you to write the books? I know you're your mom, your mother of 2 children.
Yes, I am.
And how was it in terms of books being available for your children in the US to share with them your own unique experience of St. Lucia? They were not available, were they?
They were not available, and the truth is, before I even talk about my children and how they inspired me, the first thing I'd like to mention is that going to high school in Brooklyn, I attended a high school that was about 3,500 students. And in that, very large high school. And in that high school, about 10% of those students were of color.
Yeah.
And imagine being in a school, a sea of just faces that didn't look like yours, and you eventually run into one person that does resemble yourself.
Yes.
And that person ended up being St. Lucian.
Wow. That's family right there.
That's family right there. And I was really excited about that. Unfortunately, when I said to her, when we found out we were both from St. Lucia, I said to her, Sakafet. And she said, give me a minute, let me think what that means again. And that upset me. That upset me because I had already been in the States at least 6 years. She had only been there 2. And she claimed she did not remember the language. That hurt me. And so I felt that it was really even more important for me to document where I came from and my experiences in St. Lucia. That was the first thing that really inspired me. It was shocking to me, and I'm happy to say that I'm proud to be St. Lucian. Even if I left, I still remember how to speak patois. I'm not as fluent as my parents are, but I'm as fluent as I want to be, and I learn as much as I can.
Take comfort in the fact that we all struggle with, because Creole is something that you were not taught. You learned as you grew.
Yes.
Yes, at home and sometimes, on the street. Because sometimes at home you're not allowed to speak Creole growing up back in the day. But now you have experiences in school. But back in the day, you're not allowed to speak Creole at home or in the classroom. So you learn this thing on the road, playing with your friends. So, we have not perfected it.
Exactly.
Yes, but damn, I love the language.
But we love it.
Yes, we love it.
We learned it incidentally, and I remember growing up, going to the country with my grandma. She used to say to me, when I spoke patois, I wanted so desperately to speak it. She used to tap me on my mouth and said, "You're not to talk patois. You only talk English. You're from the city." And I used to hide to talk it and ask my older cousins how to speak it and what to say and things like that because I enjoyed it. So yes, I thought it was important for me to document that. And as far as my children, when they were growing up in Brooklyn, I thought, how can I let them know about the rich experiences that I had here in St. Lucia? You know, climbing mango trees during mango season, pomsite, and running away from dogs that were chasing you when you were in the neighbor's yard and things like that. They didn't have that experience growing up in Brooklyn. So I did try to find books in Brooklyn. I couldn't find any that was relatable. And I figured, well, the next time I go to St. Lucia, I'll try to find a book. And when I did go back to St. Lucia, I really couldn't find any books that really talked about small children in the Caribbean and the experiences that they had. So that actually prompted me to write my own books.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So you say it's a series that you started. You're on the second one, completed the second one.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about the first, which is Wyetta's Recess Adventures. And I'm looking at the cover of the book, and the place looks very, very familiar.
Yes.
Where is that?
That is the what's now considered the Gordon and Walcott Methodist Primary School.
Okay, so that's your alma mater, yes?
That's my alma mater, yes. Okay,
the person who did this job did a great job. It looks a lot like Methodist that I know. Okay, so it's about what's happening with the Wyetta and through those adventures. It's
absolutely. Well, Wyetta
school-based adventures.
Yes, school-based adventures. We all attended school. We all had lunch breaks and recess breaks. And so during recess breaks, we played a lot of common schoolyard games such as ticky-tock, jacks, and hide and go seek. Jacks. With the ball and the 6 jacks, and you would throw up the ball and catch the jacks.
Okay.
They were metal.
Ticky-tock thingy?
Well, ticky-tock was with the stones.
Oh, right.
And the jacks were these metal 6-pronged sort of items.
Okay.
And there were 6 of them, and you'd throw the ball up in the air, and you'd catch the jacks one at a time,
Maybe
2 at a time.
Okay.
Yes, that's fine. I can show you. So we played those childhood games, and we enjoyed them, including Chinese Skip and all of these other wonderful games. And those are games I shared with my children in Brooklyn, and also my students as a teacher. I shared those games with them too. A lot of them they'd never heard of, especially ticky-tock.
All right, so that's about Wyetta's Recess. And this one is Wyetta at the Sulphur Springs. Did she get into trouble?
Wyetta, yes. Wyetta is very curious. Her parents would say differently. They would say she's troublesome or she's unfair, but Wyetta is curious. She likes to explore and know about the world. And with Wyetta at the Springs, Sulphur Springs, she actually does get into trouble, and you'd have to read the book to find out what it's all about.
Okay, so tell me the age group that the target population in terms of age range for children to read these.
If a child were to read this book independently without the help of an adult, you're looking at ages 9 to age 12.
Okay.
Any child could listen to the book at any age if an adult reads it to them. But I also know that adults can read this book and find entertainment in it as well for themselves.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So this is all based in Soufrière, yes?
Absolutely.
Okay, and this one is based at the school?
At the Methodist school.
At the Methodist school.
Yes.
Okay, and where are these books available if someone were to ask that they would like to purchase a copy?
Yes, those books are available on a website called bookbaby.com.
Okay.
Bookbaby.com, and you can just type in the title of the books and it will link you to that site. Okay. And I'm hoping to have them available at some local bookstores.
Okay, so folks, it is bookbaby.com. You can order the books for your children. We know we're celebrating Creole Heritage Month, and every day for me is Creole Heritage. Every day for me is great. It's all about who we are on a daily basis, what we do. And these books, I mean, from the time we're growing up, it's about the Sulphur Spring. If you have not taken your children to the Sulphur Spring, well, you better do this quickly. So Wyetta is at the Sulphur Spring, and I'm sure doing some exciting things. The adults may not agree, but it's exciting for her. And the school experience, well, of course, we know in the St. Lucian space, what obtains at school, there's always something to talk about. So I am curious myself. I would love to read the books as quickly as possible. 9 to 12 age group. So bookbaby.com. So people, please get a copy of this book for your children. And it's the best time to launch these books during the Creole Heritage Month. It's all about the Lucianness, what obtains in St. Lucia back then, and might still be happening in St. Lucia.
Absolutely.
And I understand, Claude, that you were at schools today.
Yes, I did visit the Soufrière Primary School in the town of Soufrière. I read to the students. They were so engaged, they enjoyed it. They were really surprised to see children that look like them in the books.
Yeah.
Because most of the books that they do read, the children don't look like them.
Yeah.
And it's not relatable, it's not indigenous culture. So to actually hear about phrases in there about Chinese skip and bacon akra and zaboka to eat and things like that, they were super excited to hear about that. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. I'm hoping, well, I can give you a minute that you can pick a page or a minute that you can just read something. Give our audience, our listeners, a little taste of what you gave the children today, or that would inspire our parents and teachers to go out, and principals to go out and purchase a copy or copies for your class, a class set, buy for your family, for your it's Christmas time, good time to start ordering early to get it in time for Christmas. And who says it has to be only dollies and things at Christmas time? Here we encourage you to empower and educate. So let the children read about their own selves, children like themselves who are doing exciting things around the island. So I will give Claudette a minute or two to just read to you, share with you a few pages from her book. And I know there are young people watching the show. I know Joshua is cued in here tonight. Joshua is 10. So Joshua, this is for you. That reading part is for you. So you encourage your mom to get your copy, or your nenen to get a copy. All right, then over to you, Claudette.
Sure, thank you. Well, first I will read you an excerpt from the story Wyetta at the Sulphur Spring, so you will learn how Wyetta got her name. I will not read the entire story, just a bit, and then you'd have to buy the book to find out the rest of the story.
Sure.
Okay. So the title is Wyetta at the Sulphur Springs. Wyetta Jolie St. Charles, the little girl with the big name. That was me. It's time to get up. Levez, Mommy shouted as she poked her head through my bedroom door. Why do I have to get up so early on a Saturday morning? I whined, trying not to open my eyes and lose the weekend sleep I so enjoyed. Don't be so feisty, Wyetta, Mommy snapped back. But I'm supposed to be feisty, I thought to myself. That is why my power and my nenen gave me the name Wyetta. They said when I was born, I was huffing and puffing and kicking my tiny feet so fast and strong that they told Mommy, yes, she's a feisty little one. She looks like a lot of trouble. We must find her a name that suits her. And that's how Wyetta got her name, because she is trouble. So all of the books you read, you will see what kind of trouble Wyetta gets into.
It's good trouble. It sounds like good trouble to me.
Yes, good trouble. Wholesome St. Lucian fun and trouble. The second book here is Wyetta's Recess Adventures.
And guess what? I've just been told we have 2 minutes. I'll give you 1 minute to read.
Okay.
Yes. Just quickly run through something for 1 minute, and then we could be able to say something to the audience.
All right, awesome. So Wyetta's Recess Adventures is at the Methodist School where we play our familiar games, and I'll just read a little bit to you about that. I don't know why girls have to wait so long in line for a chance to play Chinese skip, I complained as I waited 5th in line to play the most popular game in the schoolyard during recess. I watched as Sabrina skillfully jumped up and down in a pattern on a long elastic band, stretched out like a rectangle. 2 girls stood 5 feet apart, holding the elastic band, first behind their ankles, and then behind their knees, then their thighs, and up to the waist. Some girls were brave enough to even attempt heights at under their armpits and their necks, but I've never seen anyone succeed at those heights. Someone always walked away with a skinned knee or an elbow, and sometimes even a busted lip.
Well done. It's exciting. I must admit, I'm following in there, and I can't wait to see what she's up to next. And it's typical St. Lucian children.
Yes,
I want to congratulate you. Great stuff in there, and wish you all the best for the remaining books that you intend to write in the series.
Thank you.
So as we kind of round it up, it's 1 minute. What do you want to say to the audience? I'll leave it up to you. The last minute is yours.
Yes, I would just like to say to the audience as an educator and as a parent, it's so important to read to your children, and most importantly, you have to read books that are relatable to the students, books that they can see themselves in. They will have more of an interest in reading and building their literacy if they're reading about themselves. It's okay to read about Disney princesses, that's fine, but it's best to read about things that they can relate to and they can understand, so they can say, oh, I see myself in this book. And you know what, maybe one day I might want to write about Soufrière or Canaries or Choiseul or Rosalie and so forth. They will learn to appreciate and value their culture and write about it and talk about it, draw about it, or sing about it.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Otherwise, Bekha, it's a great pleasure meeting you. And I
Awesome.
look forward to reading about Wyetta.
Yes,
and
you'll
all
have
the
fun.
rest. All right. Enjoy Creole Day.
Thank you.